Okay, Burn Nation, I'm here with Megan, our lead trainer in the entire market of Alabama, or well, not the entire market of Alabama, of Birmingham, Alabama.
Yeah.
And listen, one of the most phenomenal, I'm just gonna brag on you for 2 seconds. Can I do that?
Absolutely.
Okay, so one of the most phenomenal trainers I've ever seen at Burn Nation. I'm telling you that right now. Come take her camp. I did a leg day and a core day, and my butt hurts and my stomach hurts, and she made me have fun while I was doing it. And so you oversee how many trainers now in the market?
We have seven or eight. Yeah.
7 or 8. 3 locations. Jim Saffron is our franchise partner here. And I'm excited to talk with you because we get to dig into who you are a little bit. People love to know, our members love to know who our trainers are and where they come from, what their background is, but also what you are passionate about, some highs and some lows in your life. Like what's the struggles that you've had? As a trainer, this, like your members sometimes can look at you and say, yeah, she's just never struggled with anything, and she's got a great body, and she's got muscles, and has she ever had any adversity? And the answer is always yes.
Absolutely.
And it's just we're here to humanize, okay? And so I hope that you're ready to be vulnerable and to talk about some stuff, and I'm ready to do this interview. So are you ready?
I'm ready.
Are you ready?
Let's do it.
So let me ask you the first question. The first question is so people get to know you a little bit, your background. Tell me where you come from, what your family life was like, and just 2 or 3, 4 minutes on what it was like being a Megan growing up.
Okay. I am from Birmingham, Alabama, so born and raised here. I am number 3 of 3, so the youngest. I have an older brother and an older sister. My parents have been married for ever, 40 plus years.
Oh, that's incredible.
Yeah. Still married, high school sweethearts. Family life, I have literally nothing to complain about. We were raised in just a good Christian household, morals, all of that. So mom and dad, loving, took care of us, provided for our needs, all of that. Mm-hmm. So growing up as me, I was here in Birmingham.
Born and raised here?
Born and raised here.
Nice.
Yes, born and raised. And let's see, as far as growing up, myself, I did soccer for a little bit, and then I cheered. And cheering kind of took on my identity, who I was. Cool. Yeah. I'm kind of getting into my story now, but I can
get into your story. Can I ask you where did you cheer? Did you cheer at high school or college, or both?
No, I cheered in 7th and 8th grade, and then I did 9th and 10th, but it was for competition. Okay. Never cheered in high school, but the reason why this is my first obstacle. The reason why I didn't cheer in high school is because I didn't make the team.
Okay.
Because I started gaining weight, and I didn't know why.
Okay.
Massive amounts of weight, and we had no idea what was going on. So I put on too much weight, couldn't do some of the exercises.
Just to give context to the audience, when you say massive amounts of weight, can you specify that just so people can get a visual?
Sure. So I had gone through puberty, all of that by 16 or 15, and by the time I was 18, I had gained 55 pounds.
Okay.
Of
out of nowhere?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Keep going.
There's more to that.
Okay.
I mean, we know what that. I will say this: I was raised in a good old Southern home. Mom cooked good old food. I mean, it wasn't necessarily healthy. I wasn't taught how to eat or take care of my body, any of that. So that was a factor of it, number 1. But then 2, I clearly had something going on in my body. We didn't know. Anyways, didn't make the team, lost a lot of friends. So hardship number 1 was, okay, who am I? That's when I found my husband. I actually met him when I was 16.
So your parents are high school sweehearts,
yes.
And you and your husband are high school. Okay,
yes.
That's cool.
And my brother and his wife met at 13 and 15. So they are middle schools. Yeah. So anyways, met him. You want me to keep going in my story?
Yes, I just want you to keep going. You're doing great.
So met him and kind of was this is when you know, and he was it. I just knew, even at 16 years old. So I found kind of my place with him. I didn't necessarily have a bunch of girlfriends, or I didn't do the cheer stuff anymore, just because I felt like an outsider. I did, and I know that feeling of being on the outside and kind of looking at what I'd love to have, but I don't feel included in that.
Right.
Anyways, graduated high school, was 55, maybe even 60 pounds plus when I started. My husband was at UAB.
Okay.
He was a nutrition major at the time. And I remember this so vividly. It was Christmas, and my size jeans that was really, really large wouldn't button. And I looked at him and I just cried and I said, I can't do this anymore. Will you help me? You're a nutrition major. Like, you should be able to help me with this. So, what was I, 18 and he was 21? We wrote like a pact kind of and signed it. And he was like, if you will allow me to help you. So he was kind of the first, like that just was like, let me write a diet. Let me tell you how to eat. Let me show you. And then I started exercising. Then I went to the doctor. Found out I had hypothyroidism. And if you don't know anything about that, that slows your thyroid, your metabolism down. So that's why that weight gain all of a sudden started happening, because I wasn't treating it. My thyroid was slow and had massive amounts of weight gain. Got that under control with my doctor, my eating, and then I started going to the rec at UAB. I mean, like, didn't know what I was doing, had no idea, but just started. And started to slowly see those 10, 15, I would fail, I would give up, then I'd get back on. And then I'd fail and I'd give up. Like, it was that cycle of, okay, but I'm gonna keep going, I'm gonna keep on. You know what, I messed up today, tomorrow's a new day, kind of mindsets. And in 8 months, I had lost maybe like 65 pounds. It was crazy. It was like, not revital, well, I guess I just felt like a new person, and going through that change myself, it drives me to want to help others experience that, to want to feel like they have a place, because all through high school, I wasn't that girl. Like, I didn't feel like I necessarily had a place. So.
Yeah, and you get so many of our members now, you know, that in even their adult years that feel that way, right? That feel like they may be outside looking in to this health, this fitness journey, and that they don't feel like they're quote unquote like a fitness person. I always tell people, like, nobody's born out of the womb doing burpees. Nobody's a fitness person. Fitness isn't something, it's not who you are, it's what you do. And anybody can be a part of that, but there's this culture, and this is what I'm really passionate about. There's this culture in this country specifically that was really birthed with like the bodybuilding era, that was like all about cutting weight, losing weight, and the people that were doing those things were a certain type of person, and they would ostracize everybody else, and it would be like this fitness clique. And that's really, you know, that's what we do now, right? Like, we are the champion of the underdogs, those people that, you know, the classic, like, you know, when somebody walks into the gym and they might be deconditioned and they're trying to go there to help themselves, but like people in the gym are like looking at them and making fun of them and things like that. That's a real thing. I used to work out at a Gold's Gym. I don't anymore, partly because of that reason. And it was just such a toxic environment culturally. And it just pushes people away. Like, people like you said, you're outside looking in, it pushes people away, when fitness should be grabbing people and like bringing them in and loving on them and hugging them and making sure that they have a place where they can show up and be healthy and aren't judged for the decisions that they've made or the genetics that they might have. And so that has to fuel you. I'm sure being able to transfer that to other people, which you felt before. Now, when did you start doing that? When were you like, aha, this is my thing? Was it right then, or was it later?
No, I mean, I think, like you talked about, evolving. Like, it just kind of grew into, well, I started getting into fitness, and I had 4 children after that, and I wanted to take care of myself, and then I was able to do that and overcome. And then women would ask me, like, what do we need to do? How do we do this? How did you have 4 kids? How did you have twins? How did you? So I think over time,
it's like a necessity. They started asking you.
Yeah, absolutely.
It must be somebody that they look up to.
Yes, because I didn't know. I mean, I just wanted to get back in shape and feel good. I mean, to be honest, and I wanted to be able to keep up with them, because if I didn't take care of myself, I couldn't serve my family. I couldn't serve others, and so I wanted to be in that place, and I had to take care of myself.
And how old about was this? You like in college still, or like getting out of college?
I didn't have my kids in college.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, first kid 23, 25,
okay.
27.
23, 25, 27.
I had 4
Okay.
kids by 27.
Okay. So I'm just trying to make sure that we have a timeline on
Yeah,
it. Okay.
yeah. So, I mean, losing the weight and then kind of figuring out more who I am. And then we immediately, we got married when I was 20 and then started a family in 3 years. And so, I did more of not eating and running was kind of what I did.
Okay.
Which I hear that all the time, unfortunately.
Why is that a problem, like from your perspective? Like, I don't really even know the answer, and so I'm genuinely asking, like, why has it become a problem for people who are actually being active? Why is that the wrong thing to do?
I was under eating big time, so
Okay.
I was malnourished. I mean, it was 800 to 1,000 calories a day,
Right.
but I'm gonna go run 6 miles. I gotta burn it off.
Overtraining, under eating.
100%.
Okay.
100%.
Got it.
Yeah, because I didn't know.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know. Anyway, so that's kind of what I clung to. It wasn't. We're moving along in my life. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. It wasn't until I had my twins, and every burn trainer or mom can relate to this. My husband had started a new job. We did not have a great income at the time. Found out I was pregnant with twins. Oh boy. Okay. So my oldest is 3, 1, and then we're pregnant with twins. Yeah. Yes. I mean, you can like.
That's a bomb drop.
Right.
Yeah.
And I have 2 boys, and now we're gonna have 2 girls. Have the twins, and I was drowning in babies, like nursing with a 4 and 2-year-old running laps around, and I just remember crying, sitting there and just crying, going, I can't do this. I know you're not gonna like, because I'm gonna say this, but I found a gym. I found the YMCA.
Nothing wrong with the YMCA. I like the YMCA. They do good stuff.
They offered 2 hours childcare,
Okay.
meaning I could go and just. So I did that, and I just sat there at the gym, and then I was like, you know what? I probably should start exercising. We're gonna pay for this. Like, let's do something with it. And that was kind of what got me into. Okay, well, what does it mean to lift a weight? And that's when I went into NASM, just started kind of looking for what was to come, where I was supposed to be, and how I could impact other women.
So we met when, I believe it was maybe 2017 or a little bit before that, through Shackley.
Through Shackley, yes.
And so Shackley's a multi-level marketing company, and before Burn Nutrition was on, we would stock Shackley in the gyms because I thought it was a great product. I thought it was super clean, and it passed the Devan test of like the things that I would want to give out, and recommend to Burn Nation. That was about the right time, right? 2016 or 17, somewhere in there.
Yeah, that's when we met. Yeah.
So how did you get into all that, and like, was that at the same time that you were getting into fitness?
Yeah. So I got into Shackley around the same time.
Okay.
That was fitness, absolutely.
Where the Y Center was your babysitter?
What?
Where the Y Center was your babysitter?
Absolutely, yes. And then I could find people to sell Shackley too. Absolutely.
100%.
So that kind of that went together.
Okay.
But I didn't think that was it. Like it didn't fulfill me in the way that I feel fulfilled now at Burn. And then keep moving along. So I had heard that I knew who you were because we met.
We did.
I met Morgan.
Yep.
So it was just kind of a quick meeting, and that was it. And I was like, what is that? Oh, but I met Lindsay Bushnell.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
She told me all about Burn.
I didn't know this connection. This is cool.
Yeah. Well, I sat at a table with
That
Lindsay.
was 17. That was at Atlanta.
Yeah.
Atlanta,
No.
right? No, Vegas?
Vegas, yes.
Houston, Atlanta, Vegas. One of those
Vegas,
places.
Vegas. We sat at a table. She had, who's the girl?
Melissa Price.
Yes. And they were telling me about Burn, and I was like, I don't do group fitness. I literally said that was like, I don't do group fitness. I'll work out on my own, but I'm not. Then I met y'all, heard your story, and I was kind of like, okay. Then I heard that there was a Burn coming here. So I never stepped on the floor train, out of the blue, call up Jim. Don't know who this Jim guy is. And he said, well, do you want to meet and talk? And went in. He said right then he knew I would be one of his head trainers. Like in that meeting, I didn't know what I was in for. Again, never stepped on the floor or taught a I didn't even come to Burn.
Right.
Had no idea.
Were you training people at the time? Or were you just going to get into it?
I had one client.
Okay.
At my house.
Okay.
In the basement.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
It
so
wasn't
it
your
was,
husband, was it? At
no,
the time?
well, no. One lady came to me.
I
one
got you.
lady.
I got you.
Anyways, and
So I started too, by the way. Just
Okay.
one person.
Yeah, one person.
For like 8 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was slow.
Yep.
I'm not sure there was much growth in that, but I think Jim seeing the potential in me that I didn't quite believe in myself, and he said, "It's okay. We'll do this. Like, trust me. Trust the process." And that's kind of whenever I stepped into Burn, and again, he threw me on the floor and was like, "Let's do it." And he said he knew after one or two of the first camps that he was like, "Okay, well, we're going to take time and we're going to build that." And it's crazy because it spills over into my husband just says, "You seem so happy because you seem so fulfilled when you wake up and you get to go to work." I'm exhausted. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
I'm exhausted. And I feel like I can't get enough food in my body. Like,
Right,
you know that feeling.
Yeah.
But I love being able to be a part of everyone in a focus meeting, to hear her heart, to hear why she's there. Like, I long for that. Like, I long to meet more people and to be able to be in their lives. So it's been super rewarding. I have an amazing team, but then the community at Homewood is pretty darn special. You got to experience that.
Yeah, I mean, the 3 communities that I got to experience that you oversee were top notch. Like, I said it right off I don't give people credit like that unless the credit's due. And you've created, along with your team and Jim and Nicole, you've created something super magical here. I mean, it's no secret that, you know, these 3 gyms, I know Meadowbrook just opened, it's gonna break records on its opening, or 600 members plus and going to the moon, like going crazy. I mean, like literally I've been around this community for 2 days and I just see people with Burn gear out in the community, and I've been here for 2 days.
2 days, yeah.
Right, and stickers on cars that I pull up, you know, behind, and it's just like such a staple of this community, and it's not easy to get there, is it?
Right. No,
you know, like,
no.
so let's talk about that. Let's talk about being a trainer. What are the pros? Like, you talked a little bit about that, but like, what are the cons? A lot of people that listen to our trainer talk interviews will either A, want to know like tips and tricks from our trainers that can help their journey, or they're looking into being a trainer themselves.
Sure.
And, you know, which is I'm passionate about, right? Because you see how many members turn trainers that we have.
Sure.
And I'm passionate about that journey of showing people the encouragement and belief that they need to believe in themselves enough to be able to take that step from
Sure.
like a member on the floor into transferring what they've experienced onto other people. But it's not easy.
No.
It's freaking hard.
Yeah.
Right? And so let's talk about the grind a little bit. Like, what does it take to do what you have done?
Yeah. So Meadowbrook just opened, and Annie was like, "I'm on, you know, a high right now." I was like, "That's fabulous. Talk to me in 3 months." And I mean that in the kindest way, because I did that too. I mean, I remember when we started Homewood, I was like, "Oh my God, this is awesome." That only lasts for so long. It's the getting up at 3:30 every day, showing up when you're tired, when you're sick, when you don't feel good, like when you're have cramps, whatever it is. Like, I mean, the grind is to me, the grind is the hardest part.
Yeah, because we are the opposite of everyone else's schedule.
Exactly.
And if you're the best of the best of the best, you have to have a true servant heart and a servant mentality.
Sure.
And so what that really means is that it doesn't matter how you feel, like what you're saying. And so you get up early when people got to get up early and work out before they go to work
Right.
all day. And then you got to stay up late. You know, like my background in training in Huntersville, I did 42 camps a week for 6 years, you know, and going, 6 camps in a row from 5 a.m. to noon, and then,
Yep.
going home and
Yep.
literally taking a nap for like an hour and a
Yep.
half, and then getting back up and doing that block over again. It's like, it's not easy. You have to really, really want it. It's
Right.
one of the hardest jobs out there.
Right.
Yeah, physically.
But I will say this too. It's kind of answering your question. I have a unique situation in that, number one, I have an amazing husband who works from home, and so he is able to do home life for me that I can be gone as much as I am. So
Yeah.
I have that support behind me too.
Yeah,
but
that's incredible. That, like,
right.
Let's stop there for a minute
right.
because what's your husband's name again? I'm
Daniel.
sorry. Daniel.
And he works from home, so he has a big boy job.
Right. Of
brings
course.
in our income, yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But like being able to, that's like a sacrificial
Absolutely.
Thing, right? So
Yes.
to be able to say, hey, I will be the dad who's also the professional and also the support system for my wife.
Yes.
He
does it
because a lot of
beautifully.
times that's not the, and you know this,
Oh, yeah.
speaking with your members and everything, a lot of times it's far from the truth.
Right.
There's sometimes I talk to people and they tell me that they have to like get permission to do things, and I'm like, talking about anti-support, it's like you got to get permission to even support yourself.
Right.
And so it's like I want to pause on that and allow you to elaborate, because what Daniel is able to provide you and your family, like, look how fulfilled you are in this thing, even though it's hard, right? It's like, as hard as the grind is, the fulfillment is equally as great. It counterbalances it all. But you can't have that if you don't have Daniel or Morgan, right?
So we're a team. Like, we work together. For the first 7 years, I stayed home, did portrait and wedding photography. So I was at home with the kids, and he saw the sacrifice that I had given and still want to give, but he saw this opportunity and my ability, and he was like, babe, we'll make it happen. Whatever I need to do to help you. So he's getting the kids up at 6 and getting them on the bus and getting food and getting lunches packed. I'm not there. 3 to 4 mornings out of the week, I'm not there. They're doing it. Now, I do make it a point to be there one morning. Like, I've got to see my family. I've got to see them. But that would not be possible, and I know other trainers, that's not possible. Their husbands don't do that, and that's not how to live. Like, that's not a great situation.
Right.
And they're not going to feel supported or fulfilled in that.
Right.
So, he's my biggest fan and biggest supporter, but we're a team. We work together. So he saw this opportunity too and said, hey, I'm going to support you in that, whatever it takes.
And so when you think about a trainer, a prospective trainer who might be out there listening to us have this conversation, what would you say are the traits that they would need to have in order to be the best of the best? And I'll preface it with this. My personal belief is that and this is the way that I live my life, is I wanted at least the opportunity to be the best in my class, whatever that means, best in my vertical, the best at what I do. There's millions of verticals, right? But to be the best of the best at what I do, I wanted at least that opportunity. And there's a certain set of characteristics that you need to have or get or acquire or learn if you're going to take advantage of that opportunity.
Sure.
In baseball, I thought I could be one of the best players in the world, and it was a cocky thought because I wasn't putting in the work that was necessary or building the I wouldn't say work ethic because I was always a really hard worker, but I wasn't as focused as I needed to be on the task at hand. And there was people next to me that were so much more focused, and those are the guys that I now see in the big leagues that took my spot.
Right.
And so I grew up in like this cutthroat world where it's like I'm trying to get to the top of this super competitive, high like alpha male type industry. And when I got to the professional ranks, no one cared about your feelings. No one cared about, what you had or didn't have. They're just trying to get to the level of being the best at what they do. And, I learned so much about myself from that experience because I failed, right? Like I failed to reach my childhood goal of playing professional baseball. I played professionally, but I was talking about the big leagues, not the minor leagues. And after that, when I failed, then I started to say, all right, here's the things that I need to start nailing down about me, and here's how I need to grow as a person in order to achieve what I want to achieve in this new industry. So when it comes to training, being the best of the best, if people want that, what do they need? What do they have to possess in order from your perspective, in order to achieve that goal?
3 things come to mind. Number 1 is being teachable. You got to know that you can fail and learn from that and grow. So getting other people's feedback. We do the feedback loop.
Yep.
Like, you can't take that personally. Like,
Right.
They're trying to make you better. I tell every single one of my trainers, I love you. I want to try to make you better, okay? That's why I'm doing this for you, to make you a better trainer here. So I think you have to be teachable. I do think you have to be self-disciplined, for sure. I mean, it is, again, the grind is hard. It's hard when the alarm goes off. So, I mean, I think you have to be super self-disciplined, because not only is the grind hard, but then you have to work out yourself. You got to take care of yourself. And that's
well, cherry on top.
Right. It's like, oh, by the way, you also have to be in shape.
Yeah.
And I want to be. I want to be the best version of myself, but it's like, oh, but you also need to be in camp. And so that's where that self-discipline, self-motivation, like, comes in. And then the third is time. You're not going to walk in and, well, so 3 for me, and it's going to happen right away.
Right, yeah. Got to put those reps in.
You got to put just what you said. You have to put the work in.
Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah.
Again, like 1% of people might be super gifted and might not have to, but most of us have to come in and put the reps and put the work and have time and go, okay, I might just be a support trainer and I want to be a lead trainer or whatever it is.
Right. Yeah, I think determination and will outweighs talent every day of the week. I mean,
Absolutely.
you get somebody who's super talented, and then you show me somebody who's super talented and has drive and has will and is selfless. Like, it's not even close.
Yeah.
It's not
Agreed.
it's not even a close race. And I think that's what got me to the minor leagues. And then I forgot that when I got there, because like I had this like, oh, I made it mentality. It was an entitlement mentality. Oh, I made it. Like I'm here. I signed the professional contract. Right. It's like, well, you know, you're signing that contract is like 10% of what you need to do to get from there to the next level.
I think humility too comes in there. Like
100%.
100%.
What do you think? What do you think the fitness industry is missing?
Community.
Community. Yeah.
That's what I mean. That's
totally a burn answer, by the way.
I know. Well, but it's true though.
It is true.
I mean,
It's very true.
you said it earlier. They kind of like, hey, this is our bubble. You don't come into it unless you're gonna do. And I feel like we are very like welcoming and community, and I said community because I knew you'd like that too.
Yeah, you're just trying to please me. I know. I get it. No, it's I mean, like, it's not this cliche thing. You know what bothers me more than anything? I've been writing a lot about lately about like what bugs me, because I'm a writer and I like to write, and so like I'd get up in the morning and I'd write for a half an hour to an hour, and I was writing about stupid stuff that I wasn't that interested in. So I started writing about things that were bugging me. Like the things that I was thinking about that were taking up mental space that shouldn't be. And one of those things, I got interviewed, no need to call out the person, but I got interviewed, and you know, they basically told me that community fitness is stupid, and that all it is a bunch of like rah-rah cheering people on, and no actual real work gets done. And I'm like, you've never been, you don't know who I am.
I was going to ask, have you experienced that?
Yeah, you've never experienced our gyms, or you don't know who I am, do you? Because we don't play. You know, like the community's there, but the reason the community is there is because myself and Nicole and Tiffany and Olivia, when you're training camp, what we do is we sit there and bond in a very deep way over how much in the moment we hate you.
100%, 100%, yes.
You know what I mean? Like, and that's what creates the community, is the actual intensity that you apply to. You can bring people in a room, you apply intensity to them, and then you ask them to communicate with each other. What they're going to communicate it with about is the pain, the pain
what they have in
going,
common.
Yeah, with the pain that they're going through in the workout, right? I think that's a missing piece of this whole community thing, and it's just crazy. Like this industry, like I'm going to go back to you, but this industry that, you know, is supposed to be building people up, you know, historically has not. And I think the reason that Burn is successful is because when we come along and we institute some of the principles that aren't for the classic fitness enthusiasts, the 10% of the world or this country that already had a gym membership, they're already fit, they're already intrinsically motivated, these type of things, but it's the opposite, right? It's like, if you've ever read the Blue Ocean Strategy.
Have not.
Okay, it's a great book, and it talks about a red ocean versus a blue ocean. It's like, the red ocean is where the sharks infest, and they're eating the fish, and there's like, it's so bloody in there, and it's so convoluted that it's just, there's no chance you can win. But then you go to the other 85% of the ocean, and it's wide open and it's blue. Well, it's like, we didn't start talking to fitness enthusiasts, right? We started talking to moms who just had 4 children, who were in a position where they kind of lost their identity, and dads now, but it didn't start that way.
Right.
Charlotte's Fit Community of Moms was our first tagline. And so I think, and I want to know your thoughts, I think that's part of the reason why we popped as a organization, and why we all now have this opportunity is because if you're championing the underdogs who are in that blue ocean, who are that 85% of the world that nobody in this industry was speaking to.
Right. No, I would 100% agree. In fact, I think it was yesterday you asked a group of women, how many of you came because there's childcare? And that's so true. I mean, are the underdogs, and they're not looking necessarily at the moms. Remember, I didn't experience burn.
Yes.
Like, I was just told about burn, okay?
Right.
So I hadn't been in there. My first sit-down meeting with Jim, my FP, he said, there is a feeling when you walk in that you talked about when you sensed it outside that's different. And I can't describe it to you, but you'll feel that. And I think that's what the fitness industry is missing, like that feeling, which is community. I know that's the answer, but like it's that feeling of rooting for the underdogs, but something different where we're all on the same team. Like we're not all trying to have abs and whatever. Like we're trying to better ourselves.
Right.
And hey, I'm not competing against you. I'm with you. We're in this together. So, and I experienced. I mean, obviously, when I came in, experienced that, but I don't think that's in.
What do you think that thing is? Is it maybe a frequency of positive energy that you can feel?
Yes.
I know now this, and this may sound a little scientific for the podcast, but it's something that I study, I believe in greatly, is that we found now that your heart essentially has this electromagnetic field that extends about 3 feet out around you. So there's an invisible field of energy, right, that you can't see with the eye, but you can detect it with measurement tools that actually measures the frequency of energy that you have. And I really believe that when you bring these frequencies together, they magnify, right? So like if we're, we just had 92 people in your camp today, in the camp I trained here, and I mean, that energy was radiating from this building out into the parking lot. I don't know, but I think because of the collective magnification of that positive energy and that frequency kind of just being too big for the walls in here and just pushing its way out the door, it's something like that.
It's real.
Yeah.
I would say this, since we're speaking to trainers, it starts with them. I mean, them bringing that into the room and supporting and loving on and encouraging, not beating them down. We're going to push them past what they think they can do, yes, but I think it starts with us. Like, we believe in burn so much, and that's going to reflect in how we present and how we train and how we do everything. So I think if you're starting out or if you're thinking about it, like that's where it starts. Like you have to fully believe in this brand and in everything, the community here, to really translate that to the members.
Yeah, I agree. I think that like if we talk about like what else the fitness industry is missing, I think there's like a dovetail into like leadership.
Yeah.
And what that really means to me is that leadership is there's a certain drive that's necessary, but the second word I think of is selflessness, because you can't build a community as a dictator. And a dictatorship is all about yourself, and it's all about, hey, look at me, look how cool I am. Like one of the things that drives me crazy about this industry, and I want to fix it, I love this industry. Like this industry gave me an opportunity to follow my dreams and the opportunity to be the best, or at least strive to be the best in the category. And you look around and you see this massive gap of leadership in it, and I think it has a lot to do with this influencer culture that is like, hey, if you want to look like me, then do these things, and then they like sell you something, right? That's just baked in entitlement. First of all, it's baked in how would you say, like a self-centered, egotistical realm. It's like baked in that if you want to look like me, like what makes you think people want to look like you? Like that's a good question to ask. What makes you think people want to look like you? Sure. And I don't believe that to be something that is pulling us backward as a industry. I just don't think it's something that's going to help us excel as fast as we need to excel, to be able to say, hey, everyone in this country, or the vast majority, the 80%, it's flipped. It's 85% of people are enthusiasts and community driven and focused on their fitness because they had some type of organization that welcomed them in, and there's the 15% that still we gotta struggle with. But I don't know, that's just a pontification on what this industry is missing, and you're just leading the way in this market. So I thought it was an interesting question to ask you. It's like, we desire as Burn to be the leaders of the leaders. So it's like, we love, like, I want to compete with Orange Theory, right? And so do you.
Sure.
I want to compete with CrossFit, and so do you. And I want to kick their ass every single day. But that doesn't mean that I don't admire them, respect them, and love all fitness. And I just think there's this attitude, there's like this cultural, religious-like war against these different ideologies in this industry that pits people against each other and makes it extremely difficult for people who are in that big blue ocean to gravitate toward such a narcissistic battle of alpha people, male and female, right? Something like that. Do you see that in this market? What's your hopes for the Alabama market in the future?
Do I see this in the market? Yes, I feel like we have a fitness something on every corner, like a church on every corner of fitness. That's the South. My hope is for lives to be transformed when they walk in here, but for them to feel community and to grow. I mean, we of course want to grow. We want everybody to have a place in Burn somewhere, whether it's in the 3 gyms or more than that. But we really want to, or I really want to empower and uplift women, since ours are mostly women. I keep saying women, but ours are mostly women. And whether they're down, whether they're going through something, I just want to help them and be their cheerleader and be their biggest fan and see them through feeling better about themselves.
Well, that you are certainly doing, and it's very impressive, and I appreciate how you take the brand and you reflect the brand and everything that you do. That means a lot to us. I know it means a lot to the country as a whole that's watching you, and I know people are watching you. And I mean, anytime you're overseeing 3 gyms that have 600 members, it's like, oh, she that girl, you kind of just.
If they weren't, they are now.
You kind of just you put the results up and you let other people say how great you are, and you don't have to say that about yourself, and you exude that. And so before we take off, what's your favorite protocol? Metcon.
100%. 100%.
Ooh, I'm gonna have to go athletic conditioning, I think.
Oh, what is your favorite protocol?
I think athletic conditioning.
Okay.
It's definitely not leg day with you anymore after the way my butt feels right now.
No, I didn't train your leg day. I trained in core.
Oh yeah, my core too. Oh, that was Annie. Annie killed my legs, and then you killed my core. So I'm going home. I'm going back to Charlotte thoroughly sore.
Why is athletic conditioning?
Because I'm good at it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the only reason. Yeah.
And
it just makes me feel good when I can jump over bars and do fast-paced stuff, and it just makes me feel good to I'd rather be athletic than big and swole. I want to move and be flexible, and So favorite exercise that you're good at, the exercise that you want to work on the most in 2023.
Favorite exercise that I'm good at. Let's say I do love full burpees. I don't know why. Are we gonna do them?
Right now?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
I'm
fabulous.
done.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
I didn't know if we were gonna
done.
have to do this.
No,
so I was
not
like,
gonna
should
do
I?
that.
And then I love doubles.
I would never do that to myself right now.
I would do that to you, Megan.
You would,
but
yeah. I'd do that to you too. I know that if I made you do it, you'd pull me in, and I'd have to do it.
100%. I could not do doubles when I walked through the door.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And I was becoming a trainer,
Yeah.
and so I love doubles now.
Good.
I love doubles.
That's awesome.
And then what was the second question?
That was it.
Oh.
Yep.
No, you said okay.
Oh yeah. Well, what do you want to get better at in 2023?
Better at. I want to be more consistent on pull-ups,
Okay.
which sounds crazy because we have to be able to do 5 to pass the SAC. And I should be doing that every single month, and I have kind of slacked off on that. So I would love to be able to do more than 5 pull-ups.
Yeah.
Like I stop at 5 every time.
Yeah.
I never push myself further.
That's a good one.
And I don't. Like
Yeah.
I never do. I'm like, oh, I got 5. That's good.
all I
Check
need.
it off the box. Yeah. And it's like, well, could I get 6? Could I try for that? And I want you to hold me accountable and be like, okay, how many pull-ups do you have? Like oh gosh.
Everybody hear that?
Yeah. I mean that is something I really like want to build on, because I think it's hard.
Yeah.
For women especially, it's hard, but
Very empowering.
It
isn't it?
is.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah,
Yes.
for sure.
Yes.
All right. Hey, last question, then I'll let you get out of here. Okay. Thanks for spending some extra time with me. I know you've been going hard for like 48 hours straight, and you want to get back to your family. So do I. So I will leave you with this kind of world mic that you have in front of you. I would leave you with the following question: what advice would you give to somebody out there today who's a member, a potential member, somebody struggling with their fitness? They're in an emotional recession. They are fighting and keep fighting and keep fighting to get out of this thing. They think that they've tried everything and nothing's worked. How do you use your words to help motivate that person to take that next step toward this journey?
Sure. So Heather Brown asked me this on her podcast. We talked about that.
Oh,
Morgan's
okay.
on her
Yeah.
podcast. And my mind went straight to, you have to be able to be in a space to be vulnerable, meaning to open up to someone, to have that support, to fail, and then like tell them your struggles, and then them encourage you. That community, whether it's a person or a group of people, I think getting outside yourself and being vulnerable and being real is what people want to see.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we want to see. We want to see the real you. I don't want to see the fake Devan. I want to see like who Devan actually is. And my encouragement is, you're going to fail, but tomorrow's a new day. So pick yourself up. Find a buddy, an accountability partner, somebody somewhere who's gonna not judge you for who you are or your flaws or your vulnerable, everything you tell them, who's gonna be your cheerleader and gonna push you on and pick you up. That would really be, like, that's what I said to Heather. I was like, that's kind of what I needed. And I know I'm trying not to make it about me, but I know that is the community aspect of it. And being vulnerable, being able to sit in your mess and be like, I love cookies every day, or whatever it is. I mean, it might not even be anything like that, or I don't want to go work out, and telling them that and getting someone to inspire you and push you. So finding someone or a group of people, a community like Vern, definitely would be my like motivation, my push.
Yeah, that's great. I think that's a great place to stop. Thank you for that. And guys, this is Magen. Make sure, what's your Instagram handle for everybody so they can follow you?
Magen H. Davis.
Okay.
But I'm private, so you have to request it.
Okay. Or what gym handle would you like them to follow you on, just in case they want to hear more from you?
Sure, Homewood AL.
Homewood AL.
Yeah.
All
I'm
right.
sorry, Burn Boot Camp.
Burn
Homewood.
Boot Camp.
Homewood AL. I'm sorry.
I know it's long, but you got this.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here. This has been the Burn Boot Camp podcast. Make sure you flex on that subscribe button and make sure, all right, that you're following along so that you don't miss amazing people like Magen as we bring them to you to help move along your health, your fitness journey, your business, your life, your family. It's more than fitness here. It's more than a gym. And I'm going to allow you to do the ever so amazing 2 claps on 2 to take us out.
2 hand claps on 2, 1, 2.